Okay, welcome back to Naruto Anime Review Part 22. Yeah, the last video for this re-review series. This time I'm discussing the final arc of the original Naruto anime, which is called the Sunagakure Support Mission, aka basically supporting the Sand Mission. This arc has basically some familiar plot threads. This one. This arc, even pointed out by Shikamaru in the actual arc itself, it is very similar to the Sasuke Chivo arc. The only difference is it's the Sand Village asking the Hidden Leaf for help, not the other way around. Now, this one starts off quite unusually, of course. Yeah, this is the first and only arc I've seen in Naruto anime to do this, where we have an episode that has a cold opening. Yeah, we're going to go straight into the episode. Instead of going to the opening credits. That's how usually it is, which that's generally how it was for the first 215 episodes. And yet, out of this 5-episode arc, only like 2 episodes don't do that. The rest do. Man, like the final episode has got a cold opening. Those would be curious though, what the heck is a cold opening? It's simply put, as soon as you start up an episode, it goes straight into the episode itself, and so it goes straight to the opening titles. Live action TV shows have had a reputation to this for years, and anime has done this occasionally, but not all the time, per se. No. The arc starts out with Kakashi. Now here's the thing about Kakashi. He appears in the opening part of the first episode, and he's seen briefly in the 4th episode of this arc, and he's also seen briefly in the final episode. And what does he do? Well, he does basically help start the setup of this arc. He goes to the Village of Artisans. That's the name of the place. That's how they pronounce it in the dub. So he goes there, and he discovers the place is abandoned. Why in the world he's in this particular village? Well, he's investigating it for some reason. Probably Tsunade asked him to do it. The actual reason is never explained in the episode. And apparently the village is abandoned, and they apparently took, they basically looted the tomb of their founder. Yes. The guy who founded this village, his tomb was raided, and also they took some particular ninja tools. Yes, the village of artisans know making ninja tools. That's a reputation for them. And then we cut to the Sand Village, where apparently the Sand Village has started their own version of a ninja academy. I thought they already had it. How else do you think that Gaara, Tamari, and Kankuro basically graduated? Well, they're now instructors. Okay, but they only like this for one story arc, because the arc that comes right after this is Kazekage Rescue. This is basically a post-time skip. So, there is this new woman named Matsui, this character is canon, by the way, though she made her first appearance before she made her first canonical appearance in the series. Yeah, pre-time skip, where she's a lot younger than she was in the Kazekage Rescue. And here she's basically... like, she asked Gaara a question about do we have to seriously hurt each other? And she's quite nervous about it. And Gaara points to a particular tool that she should try out. Basically, a defensive tool, which basically is more suited for her. Which, by the way, interesting thing about this tool, after this arc, of course, she's seen in the Kazekage Rescue arc, and after that, she's not seen again until the 4th Great Ninja War. Though she's also seen during the 3rd to last season show, where she uses that particular ninja tool. Yeah, she only uses the tool only in Naruto stuff. The character is canon, by the way, but her tool is not. It's basically kind of like almost like similar to, well, kind of like a rope, basically just wrap it around like this, like a lasso, and you basically wrap around somebody. And Gaara shows it off. Now, she's probably the only person who volunteers to be his student, because she's who's not. She's maybe a little nervous around him per se, because of her reputation being which is afraid of him. But she is not afraid. She's nervous around him per se. He notices that, and he's informed that when she was young, her parents were killed when she was very young. Basically, that's something common with Gaara. Now, the thing about her is that she has this gauntlet on her arm. Now, it doesn't mean much of anything, but here's the thing. That's part of her look. Yes, it's basically part of her look even after, like when she shows up during the Kazekage Rescue, where she's just an admirer of Gaara. It's very heavily implied that she's in love with him. Yeah, that's my theory. Basically, when it comes to this character, is that it's very implied she's in love with Gara, and Gara is oblivious to it. I mean, she probably knows, but that she admires him. It's very implied later on in the series that she has feelings for him. Do they go anywhere? Not really. No. Matsumi herself. Now, Gara is supposed to be about 14 around this time. She's presumably, by looking at her, she's presumably just a couple years younger than he is. And she's like, she basically is briefly taught by him like one lesson. And then the village is attacked. Well, this one area of the village is attacked. And she's taken because she's close to Gara. So the Sand Village asked the Hidden Leaf Village for help. So they pretty much send all of the Genin they have. They have Shikamaru summon all the Genin except one. Yeah, it's revealed in the final episode that Tenten, yes, Tenten did nothing in this arc. And we have pretty much now, there's like 4 people who are actually not part of the group, but they go after the Sand siblings. And that's Hinata, Neji, Shino, and Sakura. They're there basically for scouters and support. That's pretty much their purpose. And also to help with Sakura's there for healing. So the team pairs are this. Basically, you have Naruto and Rock Lee, which makes perfect sense because these two are very good friends, and they work well together. You have Shikamaru and Ino. Yeah, this pairing is quite odd, probably because I think the reason why Shikamaru keeps her close, because he trusts her. You have Choji with Kiba. Yeah, this is an odd pair. I'm trying to think. Was there pairs? No, not really. Not that I can think of, no. So they go on, they go various areas. Like, they have... And of course, they come across where the Sand siblings are. Now, the Sand siblings do chase the people from the Artisan Village. There's about 4 of them per se. Yeah, one of whom basically is voiced by the same guy who voices Izzy from Digimon. This is also the same voice actor who voiced the Bridge Builder's son from the Land of Waves arc. Though that character and the Bridge Builder do come back in Shippuden for filler stuff. This may be filler, but it's good filler. It's original stuff, that's what I call it. So, they chase him down, they chase to this forest area. Why this particular forest area? Probably because nearby the Sand Village. I don't know what this area is, they never explain. And Tamara takes on the female of the group, who has got twin swords. You have Guard taking the guy with the armor, and you have Kankuro take on the guy with the 3-blade sword, who, rather he shows it off, has to do, despite the fact this is a guy, he has to do a sexy pose with it. Why? I have no idea why. The strange thing about this guy is that he's basically got feminine appearance. I'm like, didn't we already go through this in the previous arc before this one? Yeah, where your character looks like it's a girl, actually is a guy. Yeah, I think this is quite weird. And here's the thing. Nothing is known. Like in the case of Ninja Dropouts, these guys, aside from people from the Artisan Village and have really cool looking weapons, nothing is known about them. So, Conqueror takes them on briefly, and then of course, Choji and Kiba catch up with him. Ino and Shikamaru catch up with Tamari, and Naruto and Rock Lee catch up with Gara. Though his battle basically doesn't go really well, Tamari does eventually be hurt opponent pretty easily. Like, thanks to, well, her basically help move a waterfall and Shikamaru use his shadow possession shoot. Ino does nothing. She's there. She basically points out that she's useless. Though I'm like, wait, did they ever use that plot thread from the Land of Rice Paddies the Land of Rice Fields investigation arc? Yeah, it's pretty much reusing that minor plot thread, but this time for a different character. This time it's Ino, not Hinata. Thank God it's not Hinata or Tenten. So, eventually, of course, they do. Now, 2 of them. Now, the 3 guys, the 3 henchmen, are in fact defeated. Gara is technically the one who defeats the armor guy, thanks to, of course, help also Naruto shows up. Of course, Gara does something. Of course, this guy has ability. His armor absorbs chakra. Though of course, Gara nearly runs out of sand. Though he loses his gourd. Yes, apparently his gourd's made of sand too. So that apparently is wrecked. But the next time he appears, he's got the thing. Yeah, this never actually explain why the heck he has a thing. So he pretty much just defeats the guy. by using sand from his own sand armor to form a spear and stab the guy through the frickin' head. Yep. Now, as for what happened with Conqueror's guy, well, first he tries to do the same thing he did with the twins from the Sasuke arc, but the guy basically clawed himself out, though he's able to do it again, thanks to Akamaru reassembling the Black Ants, and thanks, of course, to Choji. Now, apparently Choji, Kiba, and Kankuro, they had very sloppy teamwork. They kept getting each other's way. Eventually, of course, they formed a plan, and they finally killed this guy pretty much the same way they killed the twins. Now, in the case of right after this, basically, Gaara goes chasing after the leader of this group, who has got Matsumi, Gaara's student. Though he sets her down, of course, he absorbs the tools, and of course, Gaara starts fighting. Of course, Naruto shows up. He's able to free Matsumi from her wooden iron lung she's in, because she's in this thing the whole time. I get the reason why she's not able to defend herself and how she's able to use it, because she's just a student. So it's perfectly. I don't know what that is. It's perfectly understandable of why in the war she couldn't defend herself really well. Though she's able to use her tool really well against them when they have the final boss. This, like in the case of the last few arcs, this I kind of felt as though toward the ending of this arc when they have the main villain of this arc. I don't remember the guy's name. The guy never said his name anyway. So he apparently took enough of. He apparently at one point traps Gaara in this metal shell. Of course, Naruto trying to free him. He ends up merely scraping the fingerprints off his own hands. And, well, he couldn't exactly, get him out, though. Gaara got himself out thanks to a partial transformation to Shikaku, though Gaara is able to fend it out. This is actually the first time in the Naruto anime. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so this is the first time since the Konoha Crush he's actually gone to that particular mode, and as far as I can tell, it's the last time he ever did. I kind of get the reason why they actually did, because, well, he never does it ever again. Nope. He basically partially transforms, but not full transformation per se. He's able to basically reverse it and defeat the guy with his own power, and he even has his own thing of basically wherever there's rocks and dirt, there's always sand. And eventually he defeats the founder of the village of artisans. Yeah, I kind of felt this guy. This kind of felt this ending kind of was like, okay, we think this guy's maybe the one. Nope, it's actually he merges with the dead body of the founder, and he apparently has no problem being resurrected as a weapon. Okay, yeah. In the case of the Konoha Crush arc, which, yeah, this is a very similar plot thread. They borrow from that one, where you have a leader who gets revived and is used as a weapon against other people from his own village. Yeah, so in case you're curious to what that sound is, if you're hearing that, I think it may be a car alarm going off. I'm not sure what it is. I'll check out later. So eventually, of course, the guy himself is defeated thanks to Gaara using his sand tsunami and pretty much kills him that way. Eventually, of course, Naruto himself is pretty much severely cut up in the battle. Though Sakura does heal him up, and of course, Hanali goes over to him, another great Naruto Hanali moment, where she basically really worries about him. Makes sense. She's basically in love with him, so of course she would basically worry about him. So he's able to heal his hand. So here's the interesting thing about this arc. This is probably by far the only arc of the entire series, and all the anime stuff, where he does not use his Rasengan. He doesn't even Shadow Clone Jutsu. Well, well, he does use it briefly against one air guy, but I think the reason why he doesn't use Shadow Clone Jutsu very much, or Rasengan, probably because this is all about Gaara and his development in this arc, which eventually, of course, after this whole battle was over, Gaara, of course, was severely wounded, though he's able to recover in the Hidden Leaf Hospital. And then we have a similar ending that happened with the Sasuke Chibo stuff, where, oh yeah, and also Jiraiya is briefly seen in this arc. Oh, well, look, it's Jiraiya, though. We clearly can't see fully him, but we can tell it's Jiraiya because of the clothes and the hair. What is up with that freaking sound? So basically, Jiraiya, this is the first time Jiraiya has been seen in this series since the standalone episode, Please, Mr. Postman, Yeah, that was his last appearance prior to this in the original Naruto anime. And then of course he's wondering like where the heck he's been. He's like, I've been guy mentioning for the Katsuki, and he says he want to go through some serious training. He says, yeah. So he packs his things. He packs his takes out his garbage. Goes have one last ramen with basically Ruka. And then of course we see very people. Of course, Tenten of course upset she's participating in the mission itself. So everybody basically volunteers to get stronger. Of course, you have Hinata and Neji briefly training. Of course, Neji has to call it off, end it for a day because Naruto's going to leave really soon. And I'm sure he probably suspects Hinata just wants to see him one last time before he goes. And it's kind of implied he does know that he knows that Hinata's got feelings for him, but he's not going to say anything about it because he's built some respect for her. And then, of course, well, Naruto and Jiraiya basically go walk out the village. And, well, that's the last scene. Of course, the thing ends. And the next time we see Naruto is in Shippuden because that's what comes next. Yep. Oh my gosh, what is up with that freaking sound? Anyways, yes. I'm gonna basically look into exactly what that sound is as I finish this video. But this arc itself was good. It was basically well paced. Also, Ino decided to become a medical ninja. Something that's now the sound stops. Yeah, something that's sort of mildly developed in the anime original stuff for Shippuden, but it's not really brought up very much in the Naruto manga. Yeah, the whole thing with her become medical ninja, and you see in the anime, that's something the anime made up on its own. The manga had nothing to do with her at all when it comes to medical ninja. Sakura become medical ninja, that part was true. Ino, that was something that she never actually finished because they never properly finished it, but everybody volunteers to get stronger. And of course, Rock Lee is like, I'm going to get 100 times stronger than Naruto during the time he's away. And that's what everybody volunteers to do. Get stronger. And that they do. And this episode, you can kind of all say this episode is the last time you see anybody in their previous outfits. Well, basically the young characters, of course. Kakashi is still pretty much wearing the same outfits, although with Ashima and Koronai and Guy, yeah, these characters do not change their attire. Rock Lee himself doesn't really change his attire very much. He has added one thing to his attire, but that's it. Everybody else, well, they do change their attire. Also, I forgot to mention this. I keep forgetting to mention this. It seems as though after Konoha Crush, it seems as though Ino has stopped wearing her arm warmers. Yeah, originally she wore arm warmers, and then she decided to stop wearing them for some reason. Yeah, it's never explained why, but that's simply put the way it is. And, well, I know, and here's also something quite interesting, though. Hinata's hair gets longer. Yeah, everyone else's hair stays mostly the same post time skip, except for Hinata. Her hair actually goes really much longer. And I'll get everybody's basically new outfits when they show up when I talk about Shippuden. But I'm not going to talk about Shippuden just yet, per se, because first I'm going to do Black Clover, and I'm going to do the Ardia, the Scarlet Ammo. I'm going to do that because this is a quick little anime. I'll start today and probably finish up tomorrow. And I'll probably get a chance to start up Shippuden probably tomorrow as well. Okay, so until you see our next video, which will be probably Black Clover today, okay? You see it there. Bye.